Man, it's that old thing, perseverance, consistency, hard work. What I mean? My goal is to put the same work into, my businesses, my family that I put into football. And I've been running with that mantra since I got married back in '97. That if I'm going to have a successful marriage, I got to, the same hard work and same consistency and discipline I had on the football field, I got to put in my marriage and with my kids and with my businesses and all that. So it teaches you a lot, man. How to deal with your fellow man and not look at his color, but look at what he can do for the overall good of what you're trying to accomplish. So sports to me in general is just an incredible deal when you talk about football specifically because of the closeness of guys. I just believe it's an amazing sport.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Ball with the Czar. I'm Emery Hunt, the Czar of the Playbook, here on the campus at Millersville University with a familiar face, head coach J.C. Morgan. Coach, appreciate you taking time.
Hey, thanks for visiting Millersville.
Well, last time I saw you, you were at Shippensburg. You was an offensive coordinator there. You took the head coaching job here. Now, a lot of coaches are, coaches love challenges. But when you look at this program that hadn't had a winning season since 2000, a lot of coaches will say this is not an ideal job. But you being you, decided to take that challenge and say, you know what, I want this opportunity. Why was this opportunity the best one for you?
Well, and I think it starts with the fact that, to me, it's not a challenge, it's an opportunity. And, being a head coach in a great conference like the PSAC was, something that, I wanted, and, the opportunity to do that at a great school, at a great, with a great location. Very excited about being here in the Lancaster area, in the borough of Millersville. It's a lot of great opportunities here that we can start to build something and really just put our stamp on a legacy that has been established and we're trying to get back.
Now, coaches always tend to look at it from a different perspective. Like, okay, let's say you're down 14 points. It's not we're down 14 points, we're down 2 plays, right? When you look at, again, 18 years, that's a long time, but there are some seeds of success that you've probably seen along the way to say, you know what, this is not as bad as it appears to be.
I think one of the advantages that I have coming into this role is the fact that I've been in the division, being at Shippensburg and being able to play Millersville, being relatively close. I mean, the two schools are about an hour and a half apart. I think that's a big advantage for me to be able to look inside the program. And from what I've evaluated over the last few years with this program, it's not as bad as it seems. In fact, the momentum over the last few years have been building. So, hopefully, this fresh start will give the university an opportunity to put the football program over the top. Have a lot of great support from alums, a lot of great support from our administration, and the people here are fantastic. And so I'm really excited to be a part of the Marauder family, and just looking to see that what we can do going forward. It's not about what happened in 2000 to 2017. It's really about what happens from 2018 and beyond.
And again, first opportunity to be a head coach. I can only imagine what that call was like when you got the call. How was that emotional rush for you when you got that did you about to be the guy?
I know it was. I did not even have a reaction. I think I had had a big smile on my face and I could just laugh for a couple minutes. So kind of like that, oh my gosh, this is really happening deal. Funny enough, I got the call during a team meeting. Being in Shippensburg, we were in the middle of a team meeting, and I received a text message and saying that I was going to get a call in a few minutes. And from there, I'm like, oh my, this is really going to happen. And I just, I was very happy, and I've been on cloud 9 since. The feeling hasn't even worn off yet. And just the more I'm around the people here, and the more that I'm working here, we're putting a great staff together. I'm just floating every day.
Coach, when you look at assistant coaches like yourself at the time, even high school coaches that are assistant, everyone wants to be a head coach, right?
Yes.
And so, you may have some opportunities to take a head coaching job, but it may not be the right fit. But how does one know when is the right time for you to be a head coach?
Yeah, you know, being an assistant coach in the conference for 13 years and spending the last 3 as the coordinator within the conference, I just felt like, you know, the time was right for me to have a fresh start. It wasn't even about the chance of being a head coach as much as, man, this is a great opportunity to have a great job and I have a chance to have a fresh start. You know, 13 years at a place is a long time, and I really enjoyed my time at Shippensburg. It was a great place, and you know, I will always be a part of the Shippensburg family. But you know, to have a fresh start at a place that I was excited about, you know, that really gave me the confirmation to really go after the job and, you know, take it when it was you know, offered to me. I don't know if I'm always told that, you know, you will never be prepared when you sit in that desk the first time. And all my buddies who've had head coaching opportunities, that's all they said. So when I actually sat down, you know, I said, you know what, they're right. Because when you close that door and you sit there and you're like, okay, what's next? Well, you determine what's next and you set the course. And as an assistant, you always offer suggestions. But, you know, as a head coach, you're offering answers. You know, you're giving solutions. So, you know, that's a big part of it for me, is just really at a time in my career, I just feel like this is time for me to take this position and, you know, really have a chance to impact the program. And I think this university will impact me just the same.
Well, I remember coming out of college thinking that, you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I applied for a head coaching job at this high school. Again, I'm 21 years old, 22 years old. And I got to it was me and this other guy. And the principal was like, oh, we loved you, but we feel like you're too young. Would you mind being an assistant? I was like, nah, I'll be an assistant at my old high school. But that gave me a chance to step back and realize how much I didn't know about the game, and let alone about coaching. I had never coached before. And just seeing how a head coach is supposed to go about their day, I was like, man, I would have bombed, you know, with that first opportunity, thinking I was ready because I had plays, right? But when you, let's say an opportunity you had probably prior, what made you go back, reassess, and say, you know what, I think now I know what I have to work on, and now I'm more prepared for any other opportunity?
You know, I think the one thing that comes to mind is anytime you take the next step, whether you're a position coach to a coordinator spot or a coordinator to a head spot, you know, you're always, something's always going to come up that you didn't think about or you're never prepared for. And I think that's, you know, that the learning part is something that will make one successful right away. If you understand, hey, it's okay not to know everything. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be smart enough to lean on quality people, surround yourself with quality, you know, a quality staff that may be strong in areas where you're not. And you know, I think that's the one thing that I've always tried to do, is make sure I surround myself with coaches who can help me out in areas that I need to continue to develop and grow. I think whether you're a coach for 5 years or 50 years, you always have to grow every day. You always have to learn. You always have to adapt. And for me, you know, I'm going to continue to have that mentality, whether I'm a head coach or whether I'm, you know, a position coach. And sometimes I think when people get that position of a head coach, they think they're all of a sudden they become smarter than they really are. I'm the same person. You know, I just have a different position. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to try to, you know, build relationships and you know, make sure that the coaches that work here bring something to the table where maybe I don't bring, in an area where I may not bring something.
Going back to the 18 non-winning seasons, I hate to dwell on the negative, but you know, that's just an impressive feat in so many ways. But that's kind of a program culture setter. You know, players, fans, administrators, coaches, everybody just kind of accepts their fate. Oh, we're never going to be good. We had some success, but now we just kind of like, the landscape changed. They blame it on something else. But how do you plan to come in and change that culture that starts from, let's say, the guys within this building?
You know, the one thing that excited me about this opportunity was through the interview process, I was able to meet with the players. I was able to meet with people in the community and even talk to some alums who were familiar with the program. You know, I was really excited about the energy. I was really excited about the passion and the drive. And to me, I felt like, you know, there's so much here that it's not like we have to do a wholesale change. There's been some momentum that has been built over the last, you know, 4 or 5 years. And I'll be honest with you, I give a lot of credit to the previous coaching staff, because they were instrumental in that development. The one thing that stood out to me was throughout this interview process, you're talking about 2 months between the time they posted the job and the time that they made the official hire. There was not a lot of turnover. A lot of the young men stayed. You know, in my meeting with them throughout the interview process, you know, we had a candid talk, and one of the things that came up was, hey, you know, we're just looking ahead, you know, and we're not worried about anything else that's happened, and we're really treating this move as players like nothing has changed. I'm a big guy. I always give my players this sign right here, but we talk about tunnel vision, and that was the classic, you know, example of, you know, our players that we have here right now. Our young men have that tunnel vision, and so while there are changes that need to be made, and we will have to, you know, get our hands messy to make some changes, but there's a lot of good things here. And, you know, I'm not going to come here and try to change things for the sake of changing, but, you know, I'm just going to try to apply my formula, the things that have worked well for, you know, what I've experienced over the past, and, you know, bring coaches here that will work with that, and we'll try to move forward.
Now, how much, because again, people may just associate football with the entire program, but this athletic program has had success around the football program. So how much is pulling resources from the other programs here to kind of help show these guys that, yo, you can win here?
Absolutely. You know, the one thing that was evident to me throughout the interview process was the fact that there are a lot of successful programs here at Millersville, and they want football to join the pack. You know, we have a great baseball program that just had a nice run at the NCAA regionals. You know, we had a basketball program at the women's level that, you know, had a nice run. You know, I think the one thing is that they did a really good job of having some success, and our field hockey program is, you know, a few years removed from a national championship. They're all saying, hey, can we get the football program to join? You know, what can we do? And I think they understand how important football is to the success of the department as a whole. And, you know, so coming in, they're very helpful. They're, you know, reaching out and offering support in a lot of different ways, you know, whether it's administrative stuff or, you know, just even, you know, little things that they've learned along the way, how to interact with players. I'm going to lean on them a lot when I come into this position.
Now, last time we talked, it was offense. You know, you tried to even introduce me to become a fan of pass pro, you know, from a running back. You know, I hate pass pro. But what can we expect offensively from you guys as you take over? You know,
I think the formula that, you know, was used when we were at Shippensburg, you know, will be very similar to the formula that we will have here at Millersville. I think the one thing that we're going to tell our players when we get here for camp is we're not trying to be Shippensburg's offense. Right. You know, we're going to be our offense, and we have a system that is flexible to our personnel. You know, I'm a big fan of up-tempo football. I do love the, you know, the spread elements of the game, but also I love to be balanced, and, you know, we would love to establish a run game. So we're going to try to be balanced. We're going to try to play fast, and we're going to try to play physical football and get a lot of different players involved. And I think that's a very good formula for offensive success. Defensively, you know, we want young men that are disciplined, that are fly around, and, you know, in fact, you know, the continuity that's going to remain with our defense is going to, you know, is big because Matt Suchak, who was the defensive coordinator the last couple seasons, he's going to remain in that position. And, you know, I think the formula has been set in place. You know, we're going to fly around, we're going to play hard, we're going to play physical, stop the run, but also make sure we're, you know, not giving up the big plays. And if we can do those things, you know, hey, let's be in every ball game and see what happens.
Yeah, it's funny you bring it up because I was on that broadcast last year for East Stroudsburg and Millersville, and the one thing I kept noticing throughout the game was defensively, they were active, they were aggressive, both versus the run. They turned the ball over, made play after play. So when you came in, was that something like I may want to keep this guy on board?
Absolutely. You know, the one thing that I had the ability to do throughout the season, and even the seasons prior, was just to watch, you know, and become familiar with, you know, how we play defensively here at Millersville. And that was a big part. Was, you know, there were a lot of games defensively we were in the ball game, and there, you know, was not a lot of blowouts. And, you know, if you look at, there may have been 1 or 2 games last year where, you know, as a program here at Millersville, we were just not in the ball game, but just about every single game we had a chance to win, and defense was a big part of that. So again, I'm not trying to come here to change things for the sake of changing. You know, if we were going to make changes, it was going to be changes that would help us become better. as we analyzed and evaluated things, I just felt like Coach Sitchak gives us the best chance to win moving forward. And, you know, he's done a great job as the interim head coach, you know, during spring ball. And, you know, we're at a stage now that, you know, going with him was the right move.
We know recruiting is key in college football, and you have to recruit like shaving. They say you have to do it every day, right? But the interesting part about the state of Pennsylvania, you know, people always focus on Pitt, Penn State, Temple. But when you look at the FCS programs here, the Division II programs here, out west, Division III with Carnegie Mellon and Washington and Jefferson, every level of football here, even a JUCO, every level of football here is good. So that says a lot about the high school talent. So how can the high school talent here in the state help lead you to a quick turnaround here in Millersville?
You know, I think any successful college program has to have a strong recruiting presence with the local areas. And, you know, I think here in the Lancaster area, you know, they have the Lancaster Lebanon League, there's the Mid-Penn Conference. Those are very strong football conferences and a very solid competition at the high school level. You know, we go into southeastern Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia area and the surrounding counties, you know, all those schools are within an hour and a half driving distance. So to be able to go in an area that's loaded with talent, loaded with ability, you know, we have a lot of players that we can choose from that we can, you know, bring into Millersville, sell the place very well, and then sign them so that they can come here and help us be successful. I think that's going to be a big recipe for our turnaround.
Now you look at the turnaround within the conference. The PSAC is going through a little bit of transition. You know, you lose Cheney, now there's an open space, but you have a lot of good football teams, both East and West. How strong is the PSAC, and where do you kind of see the PSAC now as it stands today?
I think the one thing that's very exciting about this conference is the fact that every year there's probably 7 to 9, maybe 10 teams that have hopes and aspirations of winning the conference championship. You know, I think our goal here is to be one of those teams in that discussion, you know, and we don't want to sit here and wait 5 years to be in that discussion. In the first meeting that I held with the players, we talked about this, about the fact that I don't have a 5-year plan, you know, because there are some juniors and seniors on our team that have put in 4 or 5 years of their time and hard work. They don't care about my 5-year plan. They want to win now. And I have to do whatever I can to put them in a position to reward them for their hard work. So we're going to try to win now. We're going to try to compete and see what happens. But the good thing is there's a lot of teams that will push you to be the best you can be. And that's the appealing thing about the PSAC, is that, you know, every week you're going to have to bring your A game, or, you know, it's not going to work out very well for you. So again, it's an opportunity to see where we stand with all the great teams in this conference, and, you know, I'm excited about that opportunity.
This was my first time actually on campus here, and beautiful campus, beautiful town, beautiful area. We took a tour around the facilities, and I was like, yo, there's so much signage in Millersville. You know where you are when you're here. So I get it. And the fact that your coaching staff is, you know, starting to get put in place, and, you know, I've met your offensive coordinator, and he's a good dude, and it's like, listen, I understand why a student athlete would choose here, but I'll let you tell it. Why would a student athlete choose Millersville?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's a great academic institution, and it's one of the top academic institutions in the Pennsylvania state system. So we have that going for us, that we're going to give you a quality education, and we have a lot of majors that, you know, will attract a lot of quality student athletes. You know, I think the second thing is this is a great area. You know, you're in a small college town, or, you know, and with the borough of Millersville, which, you know, I love, you know, small college towns. That's what I went to Bucknell, which is a small college town in Lewisburg. So to be in an area that has the small college feel, but you go 10 minutes outside the area, you're in Lancaster, which is a nice city. It has everything you want out of city life, and you can get that urban feel. You go 10 minutes in another direction, and you're in rural, you know, Pennsylvania, where if you like to hunt, you like to fish and do all those type of things, you know, you can go there. Then you have 10 minutes away in a different direction, you're in the suburbs, and you have everything involved with the suburban life. So for me, not only can I attract great student athletes here, I feel like, if, you know, we can bring great coaches here as well, and that's going to be a big draw, because when you have great coaches who can go out and recruit and sell the area and have passion for the area, you know, I think that's going to be very easy to bring, you know, quality student athletes in. For us, at the end of the day, we want to get them here on campus. So we have to, you have to have coaches that can sell themselves to get the student athletes to visit campus. Once you get them on campus, this place is beautiful, and as you said, it has a lot of things that are very exciting here with the facilities. We're putting in a new turf field. We have the amenities here with our operation facilities. So there's a lot of great things that will attract the student athletes here. And again, being in a great location is a big part of it. I always like the fact that I can tell people, you're a short train ride from Philadelphia, Baltimore is not too far, Washington D.C. is not too far. All those places are within an hour-and-a-half distance. So you not only are you in a great area, you're a short drive away from being in other great areas in bigger cities. Everything sounds great with the facilities and the location and the academics, but I think the one great thing about this area is the people. And from the short time I've been on campus and been in the area, it's an area that is very passionate about football. You have an alumni and a fan base that they're starving for success, and they want it really bad, and I want to give it to them really bad. So when you come here, you're not only getting a great place, you're going to become part of a great family. And I think the student athletes, when they realize how they fit into the family atmosphere that we're going to highlight here at Millersville, it's going to be a no-brainer.
Well, follow up to that is that the fans and alumni and boosters, all those guys, they matter significantly, but also the administration, the buy-in to believing in the program. How does that also help you get to where you ultimately want to be?
Big time. I go back to my first night with the interview process. The night before the interview, I had dinner with our vice president, Brian Hazlett, and our athletic director, Miles Gallagher. And the one thing that was evident to me is you're going to have support if you take this job. If we offer the job and you get it, you're going to have support. And every move that's been made so far, whether it's the ability to track coaches, the ability to even operate in a way that I feel it takes to be successful, they've been able to supply me with everything I've asked for. And it's easy to see the stuff in the front. It's easy to see, okay, we did this to the facilities, or we're doing this to your uniforms. But it's the behind the scenes stuff that's very important, that allows coaching staff to operate on a day-to-day basis. They've given us the support on that end, so that is very important. And something that you mentioned, there's a lot of on campus, there's a lot of Millersville pride around here. I mean, that's the thing that I've noticed just talking to the alums is, hey, Marauder pride. They don't say goodbye here. They say Marauder pride. That's how we end each and every conversation. Marauder pride for life. And I think it's an area that they're very prideful. It's a program that's very prideful, and that's, to me, that motivates me to work hard. I want to be able to deliver that winning football to them.
Hey, Coach. Well, listen, it was great seeing you make that move from offensive coordinator to head coach. When I saw, it's funny because I saw the alert on Twitter. I was like, wow, because you be so involved in what you got going on that you don't know certain jobs open up. I didn't even know this job was available. Then I saw J.C. Morgan. I was like, wait a minute. Oh wow, that's an awesome fit, because I know the type of coach he is, I know the type of person he is, I know what he's going to bring to that university. And I'm just happy to see you get this opportunity. I know you're going to take it to where it needs to be, and we wish you the best of luck.
Man, thank you very much.
No problem.